For 25 years, my family called me useless. Not jokingly, not as a playful insult. They meant it. I still remember the exact moment it started. I was 10 years old, standing in my father's office while he stared at my report card like it was an unpaid bill. C in math? He scoffed. My older brother Daniel smirked behind him. My mother sighed dramatically, and my father said the words that followed me for decades. Ryan, you're completely useless. The room filled with quiet laughter. I laughed too, because when you're 10 years old, you laugh when your family laughs, even if they're laughing at you. Our family owned Harper Industrial Supply, a mid-sized manufacturing company that produced machine parts. It had been in our family for 3 generations. My father was the CEO. My brother Daniel was the future of the company. And me? I was the family disappointment. Daniel was brilliant. Top of every class, confident, charming. I was the quiet kid who preferred fixing broken radios and building things in the garage. My father didn't see talent in that. He saw weakness. You'll never run this company, he told me once when I was 16. I hadn't even asked. When Daniel turned 22, he was given a corner office. When I turned 22, I was given a job. In the warehouse. Not as a manager. Not even as a supervisor. I stacked boxes. For $12 an hour. Daniel used to walk through the warehouse sometimes with clients. He'd point at me and say jokingly, "Don't worry about him. Every family has one useless member." Everyone laughed. Even the clients. I stayed there for 3 years, stacking boxes, loading trucks, listening to workers complain about management decisions that Daniel made. Bad decisions. Decisions that cost the company money. But nobody listened to the warehouse guy, especially not the useless son. One night, after another humiliating dinner where my father praised Daniel and ignored me completely, my mother said something that finally broke me. "You should be grateful Daniel will take care of you when your father retires." The table went silent. Daniel smirked, and my father nodded, as if it were already decided. That night I packed my bags. No announcement, no goodbye. I left a short note on the kitchen counter. "If I'm useless, then you won't miss me." Then I walked out. I had $2,400 in savings. That was it. No connections. No family support. Just the skills I had taught myself fixing broken electronics in the garage. So I started repairing industrial machines. At first, small jobs. Old factory equipment. Broken motors. Machines companies were too lazy to fix. I worked out of a rented storage unit. Cold winters. Hot summers. Sometimes sleeping in the back of my van because I couldn't afford rent. But slowly, people started noticing something. I was good. Really good. I could fix machines others said were impossible to repair. Within 3 years, my tiny repair business had grown into a small engineering firm. Within 5 years, we were designing our own industrial components. Within 10 years, we had factories, clients across 3 countries, and investors, big investors. Meanwhile, I occasionally checked news about Harper Industrial Supply. Daniel had taken over as CEO, and things were going badly, very badly. Poor investments, bad management, outdated equipment, declining contracts. They were losing millions. I watched it happen from a distance, not with anger, just curiosity. The family that called me useless was running their company into the ground. Then one day, 15 years after I left home, my assistant walked into my office holding a financial report. "You should see this," she said. I looked down at the numbers, and I almost laughed. Harper Industrial Supply was drowning in debt. Banks were preparing to force a sale. The company was going bankrupt. My assistant asked a simple question. "Should we buy them?" I leaned back in my chair. For a long moment, I said nothing. 25 years of insults, laughter, humiliation, and being called useless. Then I smiled. "Schedule a meeting with the bank." Because after 25 years, I was about to buy my family's company. The bank didn't hesitate. They wanted Harper Industrial Supply gone. The company owed $42 million. No one believed it could survive. But I didn't see a failing company. I saw outdated leadership, old machines, bad decisions, problems I knew exactly how to fix. Within 3 weeks, my firm submitted the winning bid, $50 million, and just like that, I became the new owner of the company. My family had run for 3 generations. They had no idea. The sale was finalized quietly, legally, completely, and the first thing I did as the new owner was call for an emergency board meeting. Monday morning, 10:02 a.m., Harper Industrial Supply headquarters, the same building where I once stacked boxes in the warehouse. I arrived early, not in a suit, just a simple black jacket. I sat quietly at the end of the boardroom table while executives slowly walked in. None of them recognized me, not at first. Then Daniel walked in. He froze. His eyes narrowed. "Ryan?" I nodded. Hello, Daniel. The room went silent. My father walked in seconds later. He looked older, gray hair, tired eyes, but the expression of disappointment on his face looked exactly the same. What are you doing here? He demanded. Before I could answer, the company lawyer entered the room. Good morning, everyone. Before the meeting begins, there has been an important ownership change. My father frowned. What? The lawyer placed a document on the table. Harper Industrial Supply has been acquired by Vanguard Engineering Group. Daniel looked confused. I've never heard of them. I smiled slightly. You have now. The lawyer continued. And the new owner and CEO is Mr. Ryan Harper. Silence. Complete silence. It felt like the entire building stopped breathing. My father stared at me. Daniel laughed nervously. This is some kind of joke. The lawyer shook his head. It is not. My father's face turned red. You? He snapped. You bought this company? I folded my hands calmly. Yes. Daniel slammed his hand on the table. You were a warehouse worker. I nodded. Yes. And now, I said quietly, I own the company. The room exploded with shouting, executives arguing, Daniel yelling, my father furious. But I remained calm. Finally, I stood up, and the room slowly fell silent again. I didn't come here to argue, I said. I came here to fix a failing company. I looked around the table. Then I opened a folder. Inside were termination letters. 7 of them, including my father's, including Daniel's. I placed them on the table. Effective immediately, I said calmly. There will be leadership changes. My father stared at the paper, his hands shaking. You can't fire me. I built this company. I looked him in the eyes. You also destroyed it. Daniel stood up angrily. You're just doing this for revenge. I shook my head. No. I paused. Then I said the words I had waited 25 years to say. I'm doing it because you're bad at your jobs. Then I slid the termination letters across the table. Security will escort you out. Watching them walk out was strangely quiet. No dramatic shouting. No movie-style confrontation. Just disbelief. My father walked past me without speaking. Daniel stopped at the door. He looked at me like he was seeing a stranger. You think this makes you better than us? He asked. I shook my head. No. Then I said softly, I just proved you were wrong. He left, and just like that, the chapter of my life where my family controlled me was over. The next year was the hardest year of my career. Harper Industrial Supply was worse than the financial reports showed. Machines were 20 years outdated. Managers were incompetent. Employees were exhausted from bad leadership. But something interesting happened when the workers realized who the new owner was. They remembered me.
Warehouse Ryan, they used to call me.
The guy who helped fix broken machines after his shift. The guy who actually listened. And slowly, the company changed. We upgraded equipment, improved worker conditions, rebuilt client relationships. Within 18 months, the company returned to profit. Within 3 years, Harper Industrial Supply became one of the fastest growing industrial manufacturers in the country. One evening, I received a letter, handwritten, from my father. It was short, only 3 sentences. I was wrong about you. I should have listened. I'm proud of the man you became. I read the letter twice, then I placed it in a drawer, not out of anger, but because some wounds take longer to heal. People sometimes ask if firing my family felt good. The truth? Not really. Success wasn't about revenge. It was about proving something, not to them, but to myself. For 25 years I believed their words, that I was useless, but I learned something important. Sometimes the people who doubt you the most are simply the ones who cannot see your potential. And sometimes, the quiet kid in the warehouse ends up owning the entire company.